last week there was a kind of a very interesting week for Croatia, because at the very same time when the European Union got the Nobel Prize, that the president of the German Bundestag said that enlargement should be stopped, and that Croatia is not ready yet for accession on the 1st of July 2030. So there was a lot of confusion. I wanted to ask you, as a representative of a country which is constantly rejected by the European Union, what the reaction of the Nobel Prize decision was.
It was not really discussed on a very popular level in Turkey over the last week, but it was certainly discussed on a political and intellectual level. First, let me talk about the Eurosceptics. Their first reaction was that, is it that easy to get a Nobel Peace Prize? You know, the pro-Europeans, including myself, we were like very positive, and we said, well, EU really needed such a boost, actually, to come to its own senses. It is also important for Turkey because Turkey is almost at the verge of a war with Syria. And since Turkey has lost the EU as an anchor since 2005, paradoxically enough, since the accession negotiations really started in 2005, Turkey really needs an anchor again. And this anchor could only be the EU, because the experience of the first half of the 2000s, between 2000 and 2005, Turkey performed extremely well in terms of human rights, in terms of democracy, in terms of economy, in terms of other indicators as well. Plus, it also had a great impact on the Middle East becoming a land of peace, a land of stability. That is why Turkey lifted all the visas with the neighboring Middle Eastern countries. So those pro-Europeans thought, well, maybe these old days may come back, first with Turkey-EU relations, and then Turkey-EU relations having a very positive impact on the Middle East, starting with Syria.
How was that in Switzerland?
There was actually, like Turkey, not a big reaction. In the newspapers, it was not on the front page. It was maybe on page 2, 3, 4, or a little bit more behind in the papers. It was also the question, is it so easy to get a prize like that? And also, what is the worth of this prize? If you look at it, last year, Barack Obama got the Nobel Prize for Peace, and now he's getting into Syria, into war. What is that? And now this year, European Union gets the prize, and at the same time, they have chaos inside the system.
If we look now to the crisis in Greece, the crisis in Spain, the crisis in Italy, Slovenia, wherever, what kind of impact has that on the debate about Europe in Switzerland, for instance? Do they feel vindicated in their decision not to join? I mean, Switzerland has several times rejected via a referendum to join the European Union. How is the reaction there?
If we would have a vote today, we would reject it again. I mean, this is really, that is the main meaning. But maybe we should just open the question. There are like two sides which we have to look at it. One is the executive side. If you ask the executive, the Bundesrat at our place, they want to go on with the bilateral contracts. They really say, we have to go on this way, we have to go deeper in it, we have to work together. But at the same time, as a balance that we are not getting deeper connected to the European Union, we have to go the multilateral way with other nations. So it's like, we try to get strange in Europe, but we try to get strange in the rest of the world. So this is one way we are following to get around this crisis and not to get too much contact to it. And there are also subjects we discuss with European Union in general, is of course Swiss francs. I mean, the Swiss franc at the moment, we just keep it on a level which is actually not correct, because we are buying every day a lot of euro that we can keep it stable, like that 1 euro is 1 franc 20. Which is getting discussion into Switzerland, because on one side, we are a country, we export a lot. I mean, 80% of our stuff which we produce, we sell abroad. And over 2/3 of it goes to the European Union. So we are totally like linked on this system. And we get 90% of our stuff outside Switzerland, and again, about 80% from European Union. So if we keep the franc on 1 franc 20, it's good for our export. The Swiss products you can buy in Switzerland, they are selling it to Germany. It's cheaper to get it in Germany back, 1 hour traveling, to bring it home. So that is what is happening at the moment. And now what is happening then? If people are not buying in our neighborhoods, in our shops, people are getting less salary, less jobs, it goes down. At the same time, we have to keep it. You have to have an infrastructure. So people are coming from abroad, live in their own
shaping
city.
Their image of the European Union?
Yeah, shaping against European Union. Like, why are they coming? It's too much. We have too many of those in there. So the crisis, we feel it, but we don't feel it the way like influence from Greece or Portugal or somewhere. We feel it from the top.
In the Balkans as well, I mean, in the Western Balkans, the candidate countries and potential candidate countries, the level of support for the European Union is a little bit decreasing, but still very, very high. It's over 50% in all the countries. But it is decreasing due to the crisis. I wanted to ask you, Mr. Kaya, what kind of impact does it have, and what is there still support for the European Union in Turkey?
Yes, there is. The recent public polls indicate that 40% of the Turkish public still go for the EU. But this rate was around 85% in 2004. 85%, almost the entire nation was really pro-European in 2004. But now it is really drastically going down. But similar to Switzerland, it is also interesting to note that Turkish economy is very well connected to very well integrated to the European Union. That is the only country with a customs union without becoming a full member. But the financial crisis, yes, it has a very negative impact on Turkey. We are doing a lot of different workshops together with the youngsters. And despite the fact that they are quite middle class and upper middle class youngsters, they are quite Eurosceptic, EU skeptic rather I should say, because they refer to the Greek financial crisis. What they are saying is that if we become a part of the European Union, we're going to become like Greece. So this whole financial economic crisis, which is happening in the EU, and the economic growth happening in Turkey, has really changed the things upside down. So if you ask the Turks at the moment, they would not also be in favor of joining the EU simply because of this booming economy with reference to Africa, to Middle East, to Caucasus, to even the Balkans.
In the Balkans, it is very clearly that the stronger the commitment from the European Union is towards this country, the quicker and the easier is to get reforms through. It's about rule of law, but also democratization, freedom of speech, all these issues, which were also important issues in the debate with Turkey.
Well, Turkey became a full candidate country in 1999, Helsinki Summit. Between 1999 and 2005, Turkey has been through a tremendous set of democratic reforms. In terms of accession negotiations, yes, you're right. It is partly because of the fact that EU has lost its magnetic effect in Turkey, but also the Turkish politics has become more and more nationalist and more parochial, and also looking at the East rather. So these are two important issues. But I think the main thing I always try to underline, the Sarkozy effect and Merkel effect are the two decisive factors which slow down this whole process of accession negotiations.
Lots of Swiss people think that they are 150 years, let's say, more like progressed, like the rest of Europe. Could you tell me a bit like how the relation between this your perception of Europe and the perception of Switzerland is?
If you look, what is the aim of European Union? It's actually You want to have an economical stability. You want to have peace. That's the main reason why European Union came. You want to stop that there's going to be any war. And for that, you gather together all those countries to come together to create European Union. Now, if you look at Switzerland, 1848, the Bundesstaat, the way we are today, all the cantons which accepted no war. We want to have peace. We want to have economical stability. It sounds like European Union. What is very important, which European Union is not doing, the fourth point we have is no power politics. Means none of the canton tries to be stronger than the other ones. But European Union is doing that. I mean, it's always the fight. Sarkozy, Merkel, France, Germany, who is stronger, who is the leader of European Union.
For some years already, there is a lot of EU money going to Turkey with the instrument for pre-accession, and many projects are implemented, like some for changing the situation in domestic violence. Some projects are for against use of disproportionate use of force by the police, etc. How do you see the effects of these projects if the political will to change things is declining?
We have seen in Turkey, still we go on seeing in Turkey, that public is very much outspoken. I mean, Kurds are very much outspoken, despite some great, barriers of democratization on the way. Alevis are very much outspoken. The other minorities are very much outspoken. So this means that actually civil society is really loud, is really speaking loud without any fear. And I believe that this has quite something to do with the European Union funds, European Union projects. And I tell you, Turks are very hardworking in terms of initiating those EU projects. Plus, we also know that Turkey is also contributing quite a lot to science and education funds. And recently, for the last year, for the first time, Turkey is getting a bit more than it actually pays to the EU on FP7 projects, on Marie Curie, fellowships, etc., etc., etc. So I personally believe that Turkish civil society is doing very well with the European Union projects. Plus, those projects implemented within the judiciary, partly within the state bureaucracy, is also working very well. For instance, I can give you just an example, a very interesting example. The new Turkish migration policy is now waiting in the parliament to be ratified very soon. And this is actually simply because of the Europeanization process of migration and integration policies in Turkey.
I think it's very interesting that you mentioned migration. I mean, we've already heard that the migration as a topic is very much shaping the opinion on the European Union in Switzerland, and the migration debate in Germany was also crucial in the relation to Turkey accession debate. Since you're also doing research on the diaspora in Europe, what is the impact of the voices of the diaspora on this debate?
In the first 5 years of these 2000s, as I was trying to explain you, the Euro-Turks or Euro-Kurds or whatever you call them, they were quite in favor of Turkey-EU relations. But when Turkey is mistreated, if they believe that Turkey is being mistreated by the European Union countries, by Merkel, by Sarkozy, they suddenly become themselves Eurosceptic. They suddenly become themselves migration skeptic, because they believe that, well, their homeland country is being mistreated here. So, I mean, the integration level of these people in Germany, France, Belgium, and Netherlands, or in Austria, is very much related to the volume, to the level of Turkey-EU relations. If Turkey-EU relations is going fine, then they are very well, becoming integrated.
Thank you very much for coming.